open the series. And there is the scene today, a gorgeous scene, this gorgeous ballpark on a gorgeous day. Doubleheader day, Orioles 14 and 15, Astros 11 and 19. Chris Bassitt gets the ball for his 6th Baltimore start.
Yeah, and to me, it's all about command. Craig Albertez in the opener, the Orioles skipper, talking about the fact that he had to use all his pitches, had to get ahead, and he's going to try to do that. As you can see, and he threw about 7 pitches last year. This year is only 6. The sinker and the fastball are really getting hit hard, as you can see. So again, use your pitches, throw strike one, so you can kind of strike the ball, and he hasn't been able to do that. So again, not a hard thrower, going to maybe get to 92 miles per hour, but a big guy at 6'5", and coming off a year with Toronto, helped him get to the World Series, was 11 and 9.
Carlos Correa, first batter of the game. He fouls away a Chris Bassitt sinker. Our first pitch today was at 12:35. It's 63 degrees and sunny. The big bat is the next man up, Yordan Alvarez, who has crushed everybody this year, crushed Bassitt historically. Christian Walker having a great season in the 4th spot. For Joe Espada's Astros, a big looping breaking ball puts Bassitt ahead in the count 1-2.
Well, this is the best offense in the American League, leading batting average. 260. You leave it in runs scored.
Over 5 a game, and a sweeper has Correa off balance, out of sorts, and in the dugout. Bassitt starts with a K.
Yeah, he got broomed by the sweeper, and that's the perfectly thrown pitch. There you get you get 2 strikes. You throw it for the middle of the plate, hope the break gets it to where it does, which is the outside corner. And Correa had the first pitch to hit was his pitch to hit. He missed it, and then Bassitt takes care of him.
Yordan Alvarez fouls away his first as Chris Bassitt starts a game with a strikeout for the first time all year, and now his nemesis over the years. No player has homered more times against Chris Bassitt than Yordan Alvarez. No pitcher has surrendered more home runs to Yordan Alvarez than Chris Bassitt.
Only 5, 22 at bats. But if you pitch him, you want to do it on your terms, and you want to get the hitter out in front of him and hopefully behind him, so you can pitch around him.
1-1. Alvarez takes a high strike with a 2-seamer, and it's 1-2. Astros 5.1 runs per game. You mentioned tops the American League, 5th in baseball. Alvarez leads the way, leading the majors in on-base slugging and OPS with 11 home runs to boot. 1-2. He goes down swinging. His first strikeout in 36 plate appearances, and Chris Bassitt gets a little measure of revenge.
Yeah, his game high has been 3, and he's already got 2. Almost looked like one of those backdoor cutters, but it looks like a 4-seamer that does end up right on that up and away outside corner.
So back-to-back Ks for Chris Bassitt, and a good-looking 2-seamer, deemed a strike by Rob Drake, who has the plate in game 1, to Isaac Paredes.
Yeah, they don't play him quite as to the full field.
And he hits it to the opposite field. Shallow right, Jeremiah Jackson darting out there, and it's a 10-pitch first inning with 2 strikeouts for Chris Bassitt. Orioles will bat for the first time in the Twin Bill. Runs for the Orioles in the opener of the series on Tuesday. 4.5 a game, is 15th in the majors. The usual suspects at the top of the lineup, and Colton Cowser batting 7th, gets his first start in 8 days as Craig Albertez puts out his first lineup of 2 today. They'll face Peter Lambert for an Astro pitching staff that is the worst in baseball, 5.96 ERA, but got a great start from Lambert 8 days ago. His 3rd start in the big leagues this year, and he begins it with a 2-seamer fouled away.
Yeah, and not a hard thrower, but good fastball, and he's got all the pitches. And again, when you can get to 94, 95, changeup, slider, cutter, slurve, sinker, and coming off, as you mentioned, didn't shut out the Guardians, striking out 8.
Gunnar Henderson's behind on a 4-seamer. Yordan Alvarez playing left field today, and he rumbles out there to make the catch over the foul line.
Yeah, he just kind of cruised over there. Sunglasses on, bright and sunny with some wind. There is some wind today, so we'll see how if that comes into play. Yeah, 2015, that is when Lambert signed with the Rockies. Tommy John in 20. Who hasn't had it, seems like. Missed a couple of years, and then last year pitched in Japan and pitched well. Minor league contract, and then, as you mentioned, Kevin, all the injuries, he's back in the big leagues, and it looks like he's got the kind of stuff to be pretty effective.
Well, one for Taylor Ward. Breaking ball's in there for a strike. And the swing and miss numbers for Lambert are enormous. His last start, 6 shutout at Cleveland Wednesday, struck out 8, and he induced 23 swings and misses, tied for the 5th most of any big league pitcher in a game this year.
Well, he's got 4 pitches that they swing and miss, what, 40 to 50% of the time. So the key, of course, if you've ever pitched, is what do they do when they don't swing and miss? And the Guardians really struggled against it. But what an opportunity for him. I have no idea that he's going to be on a big league team. Comes back from Japan, Tommy John, and now all of a sudden back in the big leagues pitching on a regular basis. A little high.
Of course, it's 3-2 to Taylor Ward. When is it not? Ward has reached base in 11 straight and 27 of 28 since opening day, where he was left off. So this year on base every game but 2. He's walked in 7 games in a row, and he fouls away this running four-seamer to keep the count full. Taylor still tied for the major league lead with 13 doubles into this doubleheader day. Only 1 home run, but the 6th best on-base percentage in the major leagues. Here's the 7th pitch to him from Lambert, and it is perfect for strike 3.
Yeah, cutter at 93. Just a little movement, something other than a fastball. I think maybe Taylor thought it was low, but it certainly wasn't.
So Lambert gets the first 2 Orioles out, and here's Adley Rutschman catching the first of this doubleheader. Samuel Basayo on the bench to start. Basayo will catch Brandon Young in the nightcap. The Orioles do have Maverick Hanley here on the taxi squad, just in case something happens to either catcher. 6-game hit streak for Adley. There are the numbers in the last 6. 3 for 5 in a game against San Francisco before he went on the IL, a game where he turned his ankle, and a 5-game hit streak since coming off the IL. So 6 straight with a hit overall, hitting the ball much harder this year.
Yeah, especially from this side of the plate. Not a lot of success when he turns it around.
Rutschman gets a little piece of a changeup, stays alive 0-2. Peter Lambert's very unpredictable this year. 4 pitches he throws between 15 and 28% of the time, plus a couple of other pitches. It's a 6-pitch mix, a genuine 6-pitch mix. He's added a bit since coming back from Japan. That's a cutter, which is high.
Well, what he'll do, I mean, what, fastball, sinker, a little over 30%, but right behind it, as you mentioned, I mean, he throws a changeup. So if your changeup looks like your fastball, it can really be effective.
Breaking ball on 1-2 is right back to Lambert, and he'll throw out Rutschman, spearing the ball from between his legs. So both pitchers start this doubleheader day with perfect first innings. Lambert had to go right in the 5-hole to snare that one. Today, great to have another drone day here at Oriole Park. A lot of fans out in the Pure Wager Pavilion right under the scoreboard, which has been a big hit instantly. Here's a little ground ball to second for Christian Walker. Bassett has to cover as Alonso went to the hole, and it's a 4-1 ground out for Chris Bassett.
Yeah, take a look at the Orioles Car Shield defensive lineup. Ward, Cowser, and Beavers. That's the outfield. Mail Alexander and Blaine playing shortstop. Jackson Alonso, Adley Rutschman doing the catching. Pete Alonso, of course, is over at first, and Gunnar Henderson fly to left. He is now the DH, getting off his feet. Well, maybe not totally, but not playing defense in the first game.
Blaze Alexander making his 3rd start of the year at shortstop. All 3 because of DH days for Gunnar. Altuve. Wow, Jose Altuve got a pitch way out of the zone and flipped it into right field.
Well, that is the 2nd hit. Now, we were talking about a guy with 303 lifetime batting average. I mean, he's won 3 batting titles. He's had years where he hit 346, but he used to be able to do this. I mean, like, you know, you push the cruise control in your car. This year, not so much, but he does get on. Takes a pretty good pitch and turns it into a single.
Yeah, he's only hit the ball to the opposite field this year 7% of the time. When he was the MVP in 2017, he hit it to the opposite field 20% of the time, 3 times as much. And Altuve is the first Houston base runner. Yander Diaz, the Astros' usual starting catcher, DHs in the opener. Traditional doubleheader here, not a split doubleheader. Be 30 minutes or so in between games. Game 2, Brandon Young against Lance McCullers Jr. And then the Orioles will head up to New York, start a 4-game series with the Yankees. These teams have both had 2 of the last 3 days off. Scheduled off day Monday and the unscheduled one yesterday. 2-0. Strike runs in there to Diaz. Yainer was 2 for 4 with a double and a strikeout on Tuesday night. Did the Orioles well historically, and there's some of that 6-game hit streak against Baltimore. And Diaz misses a 2-seamer. Chris Bassett with a season high in his first 5 starts of only 3 strikeouts. He struck out the first 2, Correa and Alvarez.
Well, those are command issues in my mind, and you watch him. I mean, I didn't do any of those games, but I watched him. And there's a strike. There you go.
So he's tied that season high already.
Well, when you're throwing 20 pitches at inning and you're getting behind hitters, you have to come in. That's how you get the batting averages, you know, at 472 or whatever it is on your sinker. And then your fastball is getting clubbed around 5 for 10.
Our Bet365 player prop spotlight. Bet365, where winning is everything, is over 15.5 total outs. 15 outs, 5 innings. So plus 100 to get an out in the 6th, as that'll be challenged by Adley Rutschman.
Catcher's challenge in the ball call.
Rob Drake, the plate umpire today. Here's the first challenge for Adley. ABS powered by T-Mobile, and that did just clip the bottom of the zone.
This is a strike.
Not by much. That's all it has to do. High, tight, up, down, away. All it has to do is have the edge of the ball on the new ABS strike zone, and then you have to have a catcher astute enough to understand that.
So the Orioles retain a challenge. Each team begins the game with 2, and the Orioles keep both. The strike zone measured, every player in the majors measured in spring training at 53.5% of your height, and 27% of your height is the bottom of the zone. So just about a quarter of the way up, a little more, and that's where it clipped to Bryce Matthews. So now we'll take a sweeper for ball 1.
Yeah, this is Altuve at 36 is not the guy that stole 56 bases one of those years.
Matthews coming off a career night Tuesday. Swings and misses at that typically slow hook, 1 and 2.
Well, the curveball is 71.1, so that's 21 miles per hour slower. But Matthews, he homered, and he doubled, he singled, I mean, this kid stole 41 bases last year at AAA. Had a great night on Tuesday.
There goes Altuve. Rutschman's throw is on the money. The tag is on the foot, and the inning comes to an end.
Perfect throw. I mean, watch this. There you go. All you got to do is tag him. And Jackson does it.
At mdlottery.com/home run.
Kylesville, known for its quiet scenic landscape and farms, woods. Well, let's hope the Orioles liven it up for Michelle today.
Are you in the Pilesville Board of Tourism all of a sudden?
I am, as a matter of fact.
How about that?
Highly rated public schools. Eden Mill Nature Center. In proximity to the Rock State Park. So, you never know.
I love this. I think you should give us a little bit of information on every city, every town for the Maryland Lottery contest to the game.
And it's up in Hartford County. It's about 55 miles from here. Now, I've been here a long time, and I never have been to Pilesville. So I've missed. Still time.
Sounds like you and I have to change that. I've never been to Pilesville either. Pete Alonso has been to shortstop, and Correa throws him out. So no money for Michelle there, but there's plenty of time. Pete with 4 homers on the year, 268 career. Maybe can win Michelle some money later.
So Lambert, 2 starts and 5 innings against the Cardinals. He was up 4 runs, 7 hits. No home runs, but he does strike out 8. And then against the Guardians, as we mentioned, or you talked about, 6 innings, only 3 hits, does not give any runs, but also strikes out 8.
It was a magnificent out-of-nowhere performance for Lambert, one of 11 different starters the Astros have used this year. And there's a strike over to Dylan Beavers, and Lambert has 5 straight first-pitch strikes to begin the game.
It's a pretty good curveball, especially when he throws it over. Yeah. And there's the changeup. So.
Well, the Orioles coming into today were by far the worst team on the first pitch in baseball. And they haven't put any of the first pitches in play today. They've either taken or not put them in play. All 5 have been strikes. It's a Houston team that really doesn't throw a lot of strikes. The worst walk rate in the majors, worst ERA, worst starters ERA, worst relievers ERA. The Astros added Cody Bolton off the IL, and then Jason Alexander is the 27th man. Ryan Weiss put on the paternity list. He pitched in relief Tuesday. 3-1 to Beavers, and he'll take that walk.
Well, he will do that, and we saw that last year. Talking about it on Tuesday. Said, try to get a good swing off. If not, I try to scuffle, take a walk, which is what he's able to do.
Now here's a guy who likes to attack on the first pitch, Jeremiah Jackson. Attack on the first, attack on the second. The Orioles, the worst team in the majors on the first pitch. The Astros pitchers, the worst staff in the majors on the first pitch. And Jackson will take the first pitch ball of the game. Try to find that fine line of patience and aggressiveness. This is where Jeremiah has really been good. On a 1-0 count, his numbers are electric. And on 1-0 here, he pops the ball up. Shallow right field. Dustin Harris into foul ground. A jagged journey to make the play.
He tripped over the chalk line. But he does run it down. Yeah, nice pitch. If you're Jeremiah Jackson, what we talk about, just not able to catch it. We talked, there's some wind and it's blowing from right to left. Even though the flags on the buildings way out over the new scoreboard here at Camden Yards, the wind is blowing from left to right. But it's the warehouse effect. So you know what? Lambert's got a great changeup. Cowser, as you mentioned, has not played in 8 games. Did get a pinch hit and get an infield hit the other day. So you know what the scouting report's going to be. Let's see if he gets a pitch to hit. He could still hit mistakes.
Beavers does have a steal this year. He's 1 for 2. Lambert thinking he's a threat to go with 2 outs. Lambert's been pretty good at holding runners in his career. Dillon hops out to a lead and holds as Cowser takes too tall for ball 2.
Boy, that's an old ABS strike. Usually when you're a good fastball hitter, you leave earth on that pitch. But he knows, apparently he knows what that height strike zone is for him. So predictable. Don't want to throw him a fastball again, so you throw him a changeup and you miss.
How green would the light be for you here?
This would be, you're going down Lombard Street and they're all timed and they're all green. Let it go. Get a good pitch to hit and hammer it somewhere.
Well, he's thinking about it. Was a good pitch to take, though, right around the outside edge.
Well, it's also a good fastball if you're looking at the hit right between the outfielders in left center.
Going to 200, 511 OPS. Has not homered this year. Only 2 doubles in 55 at bats. And Cowser gets another fastball away and pops it out of play.
That was not as good as the 3-0 pitch. That ball was right a little bit farther away, a little bit farther up in the zone. Well, Colton gets a hold of him, boy, he can hit him a long, long way.
Beavers will run now on 3-2. And Cowser slashes a breaking ball the other way, but right at Paredes. So Lambert falls behind 3-0. A lot of kids are skipping school because they were permitted to. Field trip day today.
How good a time were they having early on with Dennis leading them on?
They were having a shrieking good time. Approximately 9,000 kids and staff members from 70 area schools today. Second field trip day of the season. Ava Marie, the meteorologist at WBAL TV, led the way. Always fun to have a weather day field trip for the kids, and fun for them to hear Golden from K-Pop Demon Hunters on the karaoke cam on the board. You could probably hear that all the way up in Pilesville, the shrieks. This is from earlier, by the way. Got some 6-7 in there, some lays. All kinds of hijinks. And players are getting their work in during this time as well. Blaze Alexander's taking balls at short.
Taking infield, and pitchers throwing down the right field line. And
3-1 here from Chris Bassett to Bryce Matthews. 21 pitches in the first 2 innings for Chris, the fewest through 2 innings since September 16, 2023. 17 pitches through 2 innings that day for the Blue Jays against Boston. But behind Matthews here, he gets back in the count with a 2-seamer fouled away. What have you liked about Chris's start?
Strike 1. Pretty good fastball. Much better quality of the pitches. Normal, you're getting about 16 and 20 this year, so the pitch count way much higher. I mean, you're behind everybody. It's not a good place to be.
Matthews fouls away another sinker from Bassett, which is throwing a little bit less this year. Bryce seeing a whole lot of pitches today, and typically,
as we mentioned, 41 steals last year at AAA, so you do not want him to get on base.
Houston native Bryce Matthews swings and misses. 4 strikeouts for Bassett, already a season high through just 7 batters.
Well, Chris Bassett, I mean, one of the reasons you get him, I mean, he had a great year last year, 11-9. He's 86, or actually 84 and 67. So again, this is pitching. You're throwing 92 with your fastball. He's a little bit late on it. You come back with a 71-mile-per-hour curveball.
And they are chasing that pitch a lot this year, batters. He's throwing it 9% more than he did last season. He drops in another to Dustin Harris. Was an all-star for the first time in 2021, Chris Bassett. Took a little while. Drafted in 2011, 16th round out of Akron by the White Sox. Dustin Harris gulps one into center field. He got the low curveball and put just enough wood on it. So Harris has the Astros' second hit. One on, one out, and Bassett will face the number 9 hitter Christian Vasquez. Vasquez signed for his defense. His game calling is off to a great start at the plate. 14 out of 45 with a couple of homers.
And hitting .364 if you happen to be in scoring position when he's playing. Second tour of duty with the Astros. And that's what, 3 years with the Twins.
Vasquez was with Houston in 2022. The Red Sox traded him there. He helped lead the Astros to the World Series. And Minnesota, as you mentioned, for 3 years, and signed a free agent deal with Houston this season. Vasquez lifts a fly ball out to Taylor Ward for the second out. Well, you mentioned the experience from Chris Bassitt, who of course pitched for the Blue Jays last year, who were an inch away from a World Series championship when he signed with the Orioles. He said the #1 reason is a chance to win, not just win a couple games, but win a World Series. And I think this team has the ability to do that. He has pitched in the AL East. He knows the challenge of this division, though he hasn't pitched a divisional game yet this year. But saw some similarities in terms of the talent that was here, the talent that was in Toronto last year. And part of Chris's mission, not just working on his own game, has been trying to be a good teammate, trying to talk to his teammates, trying to talk to coaches, to staff members about his experience and what he's seen winning teams and winning organizations do.
Yeah, Ben was talking about it when he was down. Ben McDonald, you know, they were kind of messing up the infield, the pitcher's fielding practice, and he said, no, we're not going to do it that way. Let's do it till we get it right. And he is 37, and he's been around. I mean, as you mentioned, signed all the way back in 2011. And he's played on some pretty good teams. He played on the Mets, went 15-9 when Buck Showalter was there. He raves about him. And then you go to Toronto, you go 16-8. You don't have a real good year the next year, 10-14, even though you don't pitch that poorly because they don't play well.
Harris on the run, he'll steal second on an 0-2 pitch to Carlos Correa.
Chris Bassitt said, what was the pitch? It's a 2-strike pitch. Remember, he is what, 6'5"-ish?
You mentioned Buck Showalter. Chris says that his style, which could be a little more blunt, comes from, among others, Buck Showalter and Bob Melvin, former Oriole manager and former Oriole catcher, and then teammates like Sonny Gray, Max Scherzer, and Jacob deGrom. He has been around some of the great people, great coaches, great players in recent years in this game. There's a tapper from Correa. Bassitt will cover first, get his foot on the bag. He has looked very sharp today. 3 zeros in game 1 of this doubleheader. 36 pitches in 3 innings for Chris Bassitt. And the Orioles look to break the scoreless deadlock as Colby Mayo takes a strike from Peter Lambert. No score, game 1 of a doubleheader today after a rainout yesterday. Lambert has only allowed a walk so far.
Yeah, and he'll try to get him out with something other than a fastball and get him to hit the ball the opposite field. Doesn't do it very often. Last week, home runs in 3 consecutive games. 2 3-runners and then 1 with 1 hand against the Red Sox.
Colby once again is seeing so many breaking balls, seeing nearly as many breaking balls as fastballs. 42% breaking balls on the year, 47% heaters.
So 3-1, everybody says, well, you know, there are no fastball counts, but what you can do when you have another couple of strikes, you can look for something and try to hit it real hard to the pull field. And he does that. He looked like a cutter, but it's a hard cutter. Didn't hardly move at all.
There's not a ton of movement generally on Lambert's pitches, but it's a 6-pitch mix. He seemed to locate very well in the start against Cleveland, where he went 6 scoreless. And a 3-2 breaking ball in the air to left field. Yordan Alvarez fighting the sun a little bit. Sees the ball just drop into his glove of the waistline. Wasn't far off another home run for
Nope.
Kobe, but it's just a long out. Maybe a little higher than the waistline, but made the play either way. Alvarez just his 8th start of the year in left field. Typically doesn't play in a left field with this much ground. Strike one, swinging for Blaze Alexander. That's a great day to be at the ballpark. 63, sunny, weather's only going up. And it is a great day to eat some Camden Yards food, which we will be sampling during this inning.
So what do we have here?
We've got loaded nachos from Vita Taco. I have the chicken, you have the pork. They are about as loaded as is appropriate. They're not overly stuffed like some loaded nachos that are spilling out. Chef Dan leading the way here at Oriole Park. Kind enough to drop these off.
Will they last for 2 games?
It's 18 innings. We need a lot of food. So whenever the moment calls, and I didn't have a big breakfast, I think the moment's calling. This is going to be a great snack item out of the park. Vita Taco, one of the local concessionaires here at the ballpark.
Wow. Jeez. Blaze Alexander knows where the top of his strike zone is.
Section 31, by the way, Vita Taco here at the ballpark. Behind home plate. Alexander trying to snap an 0 for 14. His last hit came 11 days ago. Oh, look at this. That was from moments ago. Mike Ciliberti, camera operator, has eyes for the nachos already. Look, you're a generous man.
I know.
You're a generous guy.
I'm just wondering if he could multitask. Eat and.
What do you think? Can you multitask, Mike? Thumbs up from over there.
What a guy.
Our typical high home camera operator, Dave Thrower, is not here. Birdie gets the nachos. You snooze, you lose. 3-2. Popped up by Blaze. Foul ground, and that's going to be out of play.
I'll tell you, Peter Lambert, he's got good stuff.
Oh, now look at this. He's already eating the nachos.
Well, I know.
He can multitask.
Got to take care of the people that.
It's the most talented
do the
camera
hard
crew
work.
in the league right here. What's the shot look like from camera 2 while you're holding the nachos? That's what I want to know. Look at that. He's an artist. Picasso never ate nachos while painting. Fouled away again by Blaze.
Yeah, a little more hittable slider, but still fouls it off. It is hard when you don't get to play that. You know, Blaze very good defensively, made a really great play on Tuesday night when the Orioles were looking for outs in that 5-3 win.
Here's the 9th pitch from Lambert. That's up high. That's a walk for Blaze Alexander, finding his way on base out of the 9th spot.
Yeah, and you know, you don't want to walk the 172 hitters, but he did, and now all of a sudden it just opens up holes for Gunnar Henderson. Second time up, fly to left the first time in foul territory.
Gunnar 6 for 17 on this homestand, has doubled, homered twice, walked, and driven in 3. Some very good at bats. It takes a changeup for ball 1. So second time through against Peter Lambert.
And Vasquez throws well. You know, Blaze Alexander's stolen 3 out of 4.
Oh, Lambert hit the deck after throwing that changeup.
A little slip, a foot spinning out.
If Blaze was stealing, it would have been made for a great angle for Vasquez. Still not going. Ball 2, trying to work the corners here to Gunnar Henderson, who has pulled the ball with extreme power this year, but wants to be more of an all-fields hitter, which we saw in the first inning Tuesday, where he doubled to left center field.
Yeah, he wants to do what allowed him to hit 342 with runners in scoring position last year, which is use the whole field. You've talked about it, shoulder impingement, so home runs down. But that's a pretty good slurve. It's another one of his pitches. You got a four-seamer, a changeup, a slider, a cutter, a slurve, and a sinker.
This will be Lambert's 50th pitch on a day where long starts are really imperative. Doubleheader day, and the Orioles go to New York tomorrow. The Astros will make their way back home.
Or Boston.
Or no, sorry, they're
go
headed to Boston, beg your pardon, before they go home to face the Dodgers. So they're in the thick of it. There goes Alexander. Ball is flared out to left center field, and Alvarez makes the catch on the run. Loads up for a throw that is way too high. It almost hits Rob Long in the camera well, and it's out of play. So Blaze makes it to second.
Yeah, Jordan was telling me he listened to 105.7 the other day, and he wasn't particularly happy. He took dead aim.
Yeah, Blaze actually going to make it all the way to third. Heads up there, Rob. We got a long day ahead of us.
Jeez. So right here, now, if he makes a good throw, it's going to be close, but Alexander can run a little bit.
You saw Blaze. That was very smart. He saw when the ball was heading out of play. He starts going to second, so he's in motion to second. He gets an extra base on the error down to third. Well, he is there with two down, and Taylor Ward will try to open the scoring. Alvarez's first error of the year. He does not play a lot of left field. He often plays, when he does play left, in Houston, which has the shortest left field in baseball with the Crawford boxes. In the dirt to Ward.
Yeah, we didn't quite get the front shoulder down. Because he does make up for it with his bat.
And he'll lead off the top of the fourth and try to make up for it immediately. And if Lambert can get an out, it won't be damaging. 1-1 to Ward. Struck out looking and rips this fastball to the screen. Rob's all good. Got the ball, got a story for tomorrow morning's Big Bad Morning Show as well. Ward with two strikes trying to fight back in the dirt. And Vasquez blocks it back to Lambert.
It looked like he stumbled a little bit there too, or maybe it's because he was trying to get to home plate, but
that becomes even more imperative because of the two-base error, of course. Now the runner at third.
Well, you said Vasquez very, very good behind the plate, throwing, blocking.
2-2 pitch, sawed off over to first. Lambert will cover, and he gets there in time, so works around the walk and the error. He's through 3 no-hit innings. Torres has a multi-homer game in his career against Bassett, 5 home runs in 9 starts, but Chris got him to start the game. A strikeout of Alvarez in the first inning, and here's the way he did it.
Oh yeah, right there. I mean, it swings through a fastball. It almost looked like a cutter, able to get him out away.
A 4-seam fastball to strike out Yordan Alvarez at 91. 4-seam with that kind of cutting movement, but that is only the second time Yordan Alvarez has struck out on a 4-seam fastball this year. The other was Reed Detmer's March 28th, a month and 2 days ago. The 32nd 4-seamer he's seen with 2 strikes this year. And it's the first time anybody has struck out Yordan on a 4-seamer out of the strike zone since April 26th of last year when Michael Wacha did it.
And that's only 12 strikeouts in about 121 at bats. Those are old school numbers right there.
Adley had that one in the zone. He had to reach across, and so Rob Drake didn't give him the strike. Looked like Adley thought about a challenge. Instead, it's 3-0.
And yes, he will be swinging.
He has homered off Bassett in his career on 3-0, and here he grounds one to a sliding Pete Alonso. What else is new? Pete's on the dirt, and Pete gets it out at first.
Well, what makes that play even more difficult is 3-0. So here's again, of course, a guy that always gets to swing 3-0. So he's ready. And that's a double until he snares it. Smaller glove. He's got reflexes like a polar bear. That's all I could say. All over the place.
You mentioned that smaller glove earlier. Jacob Calvin-Meyer wrote about that in the Baltimore Sun yesterday.
You got to read. You got to read, Jacob.
First baseman's mitt normally 12 to 13 inches long, but Pete's got a smaller middle infield glove of 4 games to pick balls off a machine, to field ground balls. Yeah, he said he has used training gloves back to his days at Florida, but practicing with a harder glove and playing games with a bigger mitt, Pete Alonso telling Jacob Calvin-Meyer, is beneficial for his defense as Bassett chips ahead of Paredes 0-2.
See, I read Jacob Calvin-Meyer only because he's one of the few writers in my 60-some years that has 3 names. Forget the content.
That's all you need. Just 3 names.
They'll get your attention.
See, if Rock went by Rock Calvin Cabatco, you're saying you'd be an even bigger fan of this.
Never miss a block. No.
I never do with 2 names, but you know what? I understand your reasoning.
Yeah.
3 names. That's why you're a huge Billy Bob Thornton fan.
Well, how about the tragic passing of David Allen Coe today? And I know he's not one of your favorites, but Ben McDonald and I were lamenting.
I'm ashamed to admit I only maybe know 1 or 2 David Allen Coe songs, but I have to listen to some David Allen Coe.
You never even knew my name. We wanted to sing that when the 3 of us performed out in center field last year.
Paredes drops in a base hit on an 0-2 sweeper in the 3rd Astros hit. Well, maybe we'll perform it this year. I'm threatening you with a good time, I know.
Yeah. Pretty nice hitting right there. You talked about Paredes. He's gone. I didn't want to throw it that much in the middle of the plate, but Paredes is a pull hitter, and that's exactly what he does.
Paredes had been just 2 for 18 against Bassett in his career. 3 walks. Popped out single today. And now Chris will look for a double play ground ball against a guy who hits a lot of doubles. Christian Walker with 9 tied for the team lead. And Walker hits a ground ball to second. Jackson's on top of it. Overhand to Alexander to get the lead runner. A fabulous play by Jeremiah.
Athleticism. He's playing up the middle. And I mean, that's actually a really nice at bat by Christian Walker. This guy hits home runs, and he tries to go the other way. And not only does Jackson get it, he gets the lead runner. So in a 0-0 games, these are the kind of the crucial, critical plays that keep a team from scoring. The best offense in the American League that's is scoreless through the first 3 2/3.
This is what Chris talks about when he talks about having to do all the little things right. And those moments that maybe seem harmless in the middle of a game, in the middle of a season, they can swing a game, they can swing a series, they can swing a team's confidence. Heads one into Jose Altuve for a first pitch strike. A lot of those today. Here's another look at the play by Jeremiah.
I don't know if it gets by him, if Paredes, who doesn't run well, is going to get the 3rd, but in a 0-0 game, you never know.
Altuve flipped a cutter out to right for a hit, and he's down 0-2 here, but he will challenge.
It must think it's inside.
The batter's challenging the pitch.
ABS powered by T-Mobile.
To do it on a 1-strike pitch, you kind of have to know that it's a ball. But then again, he has won 3 batting titles. He is hitting over 300 lifetime.
So both teams have won a challenge. and overruled Rob Drake. The computer has. 1-1 now, and ball 2 for Jose Altuve, who is a career .366 hitter at Camden Yards coming into today in 39 games with 1,066 on-base plus slugging. Only Bo Bichette has a higher average at Camden Yards, minimum 150 at-bats all time. Aaron Judge, J.D. Martinez, Eric Davis, the only 3 players with a higher OPS in this ballpark than Altuve. And Bassett stays away from him on ball 3.
Well, quite a career. I mean, you know, out of Venezuela, signed for what, $15,000. And he's turned himself into a Hall of Fame caliber player.
All-Star 9 times, Silver Slugger 7.
MVP 2017, 3 batting titles.
Ball 4 for Altuve, who helped flip that at-bat with the 0-1 challenge, and Bassett has put 2 runners on in the same inning for the first time. Look at the dive for Altuve, how far back he starts and where he finishes.
Well, but that's the approach. In the old days, you know, all the Kansas City hitters stood off the plate. I mean, the Bretts and Hal McRae, John Mayberry, all those guys, but they would dive in.
How at 5'6", Altuve's gotten so much coverage over the years. There's really never been a huge strikeout guy. Great contact hitter. On his way to a .302 lifetime average. Over 2,400 hits. Diaz, a ground ball to short. Blaze will think about a flip to second.
Adley Rutschman is not going to want to leave Oriole Park at Camden Yards. He and his teammate Samuel Basallo, who's out of the lineup in game 1 of the doubleheader. Adley right now is 7 for 18 with 2 home runs and 8 RBI on his homestand. What about Basallo? He is 8 for 13 with 2 home runs himself and 3 RBI. And right now the Orioles have the 3rd highest OPS for catchers in all of baseball. So these guys are really coming into their own. 2 young catchers. I mean, we talk about the age of Samuel Basallo, how old he is, how young he is. Adley Rutschman, you know, he's still under 30. He's a very young guy. They're getting it done offensively for the Baltimore Orioles. You saw Adley even throw someone out, throw a would-be base stealer out a little bit earlier. Lots of productivity from the catcher position for the Orioles.
Flies out to left there, but yeah, offensively much better. Defensively has had such a great year too. Pete Alonso gets knocked off the plate by a Peter Lambert cutter high and in. It'll shake up the polar bear a little bit.
Yeah, it doesn't just backs up. A little chin music, as they used to say.
Now we'll see Basallo behind the plate game 2, and this is what Craig Albertaz envisioned when he got the job, and he's talked about a catching combination that could be as good as any in the majors.
Well, he could have DH'd him in this game. I mean, he's 11 for his last 20 with a couple of home runs and 5 RBIs, but I think he wanted to get Gunnar Henderson off his feet, who plays every game like it's his last game, or game 7 of a World Series. Ooh.
Oh, a strike to Pete, who's not so sure about it.
But I don't think you want to waste a challenge.
Pete may want to hit too.
Yeah, well, that's the other part of it. Not exactly Albert Bell getting hit and won't go to first because he wants to hit, but
popped up right side. Harris from very deep right comes charging in, and that ball's off the net. So should have been a walk. Instead, Pete will see a 3-2 from Peter Lambert, who has still not allowed a hit. Has only struck out 1. That was Taylor Ward looking. A lot of fly balls, 4 fly balls to the left. Not a lot of hard contact. Here's a 3-2. That is low, and Alonso gets his walk a couple of pitches later. The Orioles' 3rd. Rob, by the way, how are you feeling after that near miss from Yordan Alvarez?
When they put us in this new position over here, which I love, by the way, I was told to watch out for foul balls. No one told me to watch out from balls coming from left fielders. And by the way, Kevin, I didn't almost get hit. I got hit.
Oh, you did get hit?
Hit me in the back. Yeah, that's 2 this year, by the way.
I did. I didn't realize that.
Oh, wait a minute. That ball came from deep left field.
Right.
So you're a lot thinner, and you could not get out of the way.
I didn't. The glove from the fielder, it blocked my vision, and I have a camera in front of me. So I didn't quite see it. I couldn't tell whether it was overthrown or not. And then when I measured it and saw that it was overthrown, no, I guess I lost a step, Jim.
Wow.
I lost a step.
Jeez.
Hey, you know, I don't have it like I used to.
Who does? But,
I didn't know whether I wanted to catch it, and I thought, no, that has some momentum on it.
Bad thought.
I mean, if you try to catch it and you succeed, you're a hero and you get a giant ovation. If not, you end up on the blooper reel for the season.
Kevin,
so.
that was my fear.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, if I drop it, I'll never hear the end of it. You know those 2 guys I work with. So it's better to get hit with it.
I do. I do. You're the lead on every morning show.
Oh,
for the
my
rest
gosh.
of the season.
Jeremy Kahn would have never let me live. Come on. You know those guys.
Well, you've got many more innings. I don't think Jordan's going to be in left field in game 2. So maybe foul balls be a little more alert. Dylan Beavers can pull some balls here.
Well,
yeah, he was the one that hit me last week. Or 2 weeks ago.
Is that right?
Yes.
Oh, man. This is dangerous for you. Beavers will take ball 2.
and you could just see how a discerning eye he does have.
Walked in the 2nd inning, 3 for 10, a home run and walk on this homestand.
And if I was pitching against Dylan Beavers, the way he took that changeup, I think he sees it pretty well out of his hand. And there's a cutter right on the outside corner. Kind of give up on it a little bit. I think it's going to be away, and it just kind of veers a little bit and catches that outside corner.
Would have been ball 3 in the ABS zone, but Dylan didn't even consider a challenge, it appeared. So 2 strikeouts for Lambert, both looking. Boy, he is just living in the shadow zone today, on the edges of the plate, all over the corners, and the Orioles still don't have a hit despite a fairly high pitch count.
Well, he's made a lot of good pitches, as you mentioned, and his stuff's 94 to 96.
Jeremiah Jackson fouled out to right. Jackson goes after the first pitch. That's off to foul territory, and Harris will not have a play here. So it's 11 first pitch strikes for Peter Lambert, and obviously no hits. So Lambert has won the first pitch 11 out of 15 times. Which he did very well against Cleveland. 6 innings, 3 hits, 3 walks, 8 strikeouts. His start last Wednesday. He had a .697 ERA in the big leagues coming into that start. His first 36 major league games. .697.
Where did he pitch? Colorado. That can ruin your confidence.
Yes. Last year in Japan with the Yakult Swallows, only a .426, but clearly it was a get right year for him.
Well, he got all those starts, and you get the innings in and experience. Got out of Colorado. I mean, not that you play all your games. Our pitching coach was a guy named George Bamberger, played in the Pacific Coast League. They used to play in Denver. So he said they're playing in a game, 9th inning. Tie ball game, bases loaded. Guy hits a sacrifice fly to center. You know, he turns around, goes down. Next day he's reading the paper. They lose by 4. And he says to one of his teammates, he said, "Hey, how did they get the other 3 runs?" He said, "Well, that sacrifice fly carried right out of here." Now, I know they have the humidor and all that kind of stuff in Colorado, but I believe Colorado is leading, is one of the leading offensive teams in the National League.
Jackson into the left field corner. That's the first hit of the game. Will it score the polar bear? It sure will. Pete Alonso waved around third as Jeremiah Jackson breaks the no-hitter and the shutout in the deadlock. Orioles on the board first in the doubleheader.
Well, when you come in, I mean, not that Pete Alonso's in scoring position, but Jackson was hitting .350 when the Orioles are, and the plays in front of him. I mean, that is huge. When you make a mistake, he doesn't miss it. Hanging slider, hooks it down into the corner, and now it's a foot race. So Pete knows where the ball is, how far the bait, and it's Alvarez who's more of a hitter, and he makes it 1-0.
RBI double for Jackson, his team leading 20th RBI. It came off the pitch that is considered a slurve. The first 4 times the Orioles had swung at that pitch, 4 outs. Not here from Jackson. He's had a slower homestand, but gets his biggest hit of the homestand here.
And now Colton Cowser can take his 1 for 12 with runners in scoring position and bring that number up with a base hit.
Scoreboard flashes moo across the way with a black and white background, and Cowser takes a strike with that cutter.
He had a pretty good at bat the first time, took a curveball and lined it but right to the shortstop, or actually the third baseman. Paredes playing way off the bag like he is now.
If he hit it there now, though, he'd probably get a hit because Paredes has to at least cover third a little bit with Jackson the runner. So it has opened up a big hole on that side.
Oh, I mean, Correa playing as much as he can right up the middle. So they play Colton to pull a couple steps to the opposite field in the outfield, but a pull hitter in the infield. Routine ground ball to shortstop. Going to be a base hit. And gets him with a changeup.
But the Orioles get on the board. Their first hit, Jackson double. The score, Pete from first. Will come home for a 3-game series with the still first place A's, 16-14, leading the American League West, a game over Seattle, who's gotten hot. Texas 1.5 back, and the Angels and Astros, who are 12-20 and 11-19 respectively, are tied for last 5 games back in the early going. Angels have lost 6 straight. They have hit peak Angel mode, even though Mike Trout's having a great power year. 1-0 the Oriole lead here. Chris Bassett strike on Bryce Matthews.
Yeah, I got a text from Adam Jones talking about how through the player alliance he had a chance to meet and talk to Bryce Matthews. Said as we've seen in that first game when he got 3 hits, a home run the opposite field. He's got a lot of talent, a lot of speed.
He was the Astros first-round pick just 3 years ago out of the University of Nebraska, and special for a kid who was born in Houston, went to Atascocita High School in Humboldt, Texas.
I mean, he took that fastball the other day and just hit a line drive, kind of a semi-line drive, but I mean, just pinged it into the right field seats, kind of like what Alonso did a couple innings later.
The Astros have this program for kids, the Astros Youth Academy, similar to the RBI baseball program, and Matthews is the first player from the Astros Urban Youth Academy to make it to the big leagues, and wonderfully enough, he makes it with the Astros.
Yeah, right down the middle, looking for something else, I think, obviously. So this is totally different, Chris Bassett, from the guy that's throwing 20 pitches an inning.
Here were the outs through 4 innings for Chris Bassett. Coming into the game, the league was hitting .472 off his sinker, 17 for 36. Well, add that last out to it. That's 7 outs on that 2-seam fastball.
And what do you say? He got 8 days between starts, so he must have been working on something. It's a command, kind of what you expect when you get a guy that's once again coming in at 84 and 67, low ERA. I mean, this is lifetime. ERA a little bit under 3.7 runs a game.
Dustin Harris, who has a hit, takes a strike jammed in there. Do you notice anything different with the stuff, or to you is it all about location?
The location. I mean, I think the stuff is crisper because It's just a lot easier to pitch when you get ahead. You're 37 years old, throwing 91, 92. You don't want to pitch in the middle of the plate.
Harris gets another pitch inside, jams it out to right. Dylan Beavers has the play, and Bassett on 63 pitches is through 4 2/3.
Even that fastball, like you said, just enough in where he gets it a little bit up on the bat head.
And that's at 89, and he still jams a hitter. 37-year-old Chris Bassett putting together so far his best start of the year. Christian Vasquez take one wide.
Well, the other thing, if you're Mike Elias, you know you want, yeah, obviously you maybe want somebody a little bit younger, but you look since 2021, 157, 181, 200, 171, and 170 innings. So you get a guy that's able to go out there every 15. And also win games. 12-4, 15-9, 16-8. The 1 year in Toronto where they didn't get a whole lot of runs, 10-14, and then 11-9 last year.
2-0 for Vasquez, who skied out to left. And a pitch grounded to short. Blaze Alexander loads up to end the 1-2-3 inning. A shutdown inning for Chris Bassett. It's a great Mother's Day period, but the actual Mother's Day is a couple of weeks away, and that'll be a wonderful giveaway as the Orioles close that series with the Athletics. It's a field trip day today. 9,000 or so kids and staff are here for game one of this doubleheader. Well, Peter Lambert, first two starts of the year, 39 swings and misses, the most by an Astros pitcher in the first two starts of a season since Garrett Cole. I mean, crazy numbers for a guy who pitched in Japan last season as an ERA over 6 career. But this game, he's only allowed the one hit. But maybe what gives you hope is the Orioles are not swinging and missing. Only 5 whiffs in the first 4 innings.
Well, the Orioles, they're going to be a good offensive club, and they're going to get some back. I mean, Jackson Holliday, what's going to start his rehab again for the hamate bone injury next week. So he'll eventually be back. So maybe I don't know if he'll play against lefties because he struggled a little bit, but he'll play against right-handers, and he did hit 17 home runs last year. You know, you hope you're going to get Jordan Westburg back at some time.
Toby Mayo playing third in his absence. 2-1 here as Steven Okert is up in the Houston bullpen. The earlier you get to the bullpen in day one or game one of a doubleheader, the better off you are. Obviously, you're an offense, and Mayo had to dive his hands out of the way there.
That's a really good live fastball, but just runs in. There it is. Four-seamer. Yep. Just in case you're looking away. But you get into another good hitting count.
He was 3-1 in the third inning. Fastball jams him a little bit here. Harris has spent a lot of time in that right field foul area. That's out of play, and it's 3-2 on Kobe, who flied out to the warning track and left in the third. Show you how different Houston is, by the way. That routine fly out to left field would have been a home run in only one ballpark in Houston with those Crawford boxes. Mayo gets under one to right field again. A fair ball this time for Harris, and Lambert has retired the first man of every inning.
It's a good habit to get into. I don't know if the numbers changed, but when I was pitching, if you got the first guy out, they maybe scored 30% of the time, and if you got the first guy got on, it was close to 50. That's all I had to hear. It made a lot of sense to try to really focus on the first hitter of every inning. First and third.
Well, both pitchers have received that message because no Astro has reached base to lead off an inning against Chris Bassett either. Blaze Alexander had a 1-out walk in the third. High fastball for a strike there. 86 pitches in for Lambert. The Orioles have walked 3 times, worked a lot of deep counts. So they're on the verge of getting into the bullpen despite only 1 hit.
Yeah, I would think Joe Espada would normally, and he's got to be pretty happy with Lambert's. It's only his 3rd start this year. But with this offense, Houston usually scoring a bunch of runs, as you mentioned, a little over 5. You take your chances. But today, Bassett's been brilliant.
2-strike pitch taken. Peter Lambert in this game only has 2 outs on the ground. His ground ball numbers were great in the first 2 starts. And a lot of flyouts, only 4 hard hit balls against him. What a beautiful cutter that is under the hands. Blaze will challenge.
Batters challenging the strike call.
ABS powered by T-Mobile. The automated ball strike system in effect tells us this is inside. And Blaze with a terrific challenge there by half an inch. He flips a strikeout into a full count.
Well, yeah, and you go from having 2 outs to 1. And then, of course, guess who's up next? Gunnar Henderson. And we'll see if how that plays out.
So he doesn't strike out on 2-2. And then he chases one off the plate, but fouls it away to keep the count full.
Well, he walked the last time and took a lot of really close pitches. So for a guy that, you look at the numbers, is struggling offensively, pretty keen eye.
Saw 9 pitches in the 3rd. We'll see a 7th pitch in the 5th. And shot into right field down the line. That ball's going to land fair. Alexander is into second base. He snaps an 0 for 14 with a double. And after flipping a strikeout on an ABS challenge, Blaze flips the lineup card over on an extra base hit.
Yeah, it looked like he just kind of went with a cutter. That seems to be Lambert's favorite pitch when he gets in trouble. There's a little cut on it, up and away. It slows down when it's out over the plate to hitters, especially righties. And then almost was thinking maybe he's going to get a triple because of the caroming down the right field line.
I was wondering if we're going to see a second ball go into that extra nook. So twice through the order is enough for Peter Lambert.
Well, this is also you got Okert and is left-handed against Gunnar Henderson, and you want to win this game if you're Joe Espada, and he's going to make a pitching change, I would assume. Lambert really pitches well. A walk and a hanging slider. That's the slurve is the difference in this game.
And advantage Orioles in game 1. They get to the bullpen.
Now take a look at our Jiffy Lube pitching change, brought to you, of course, by Jiffy Lube. Get a 15-minute oil change plus over 15 courtesy services with no appointment. Get more in a Jiffy. What, a 1/3 of an inning for Okert the other night. Did give up a couple of hits, so off to a pretty good start. Pitched last year, pitched in 68 games for the Astros. A little different team. Last year the Astros won 87 games. Didn't they tie for the division, and then they lost, I think, in the numbers?
Yeah, Seattle just edged them out at the end to end a pretty long reign outside of 2020 for the Astros in the American League West. And right now they're 11-19, just trying to get their feet under them. Here's Gunnar, who's flied out and fouled out both to left. Okert came on, you mentioned a 1/3 of an inning on Tuesday night to face Samuel Basayo, Leody Taveras, and Dylan Beavers. The first 2 of whom are not in the lineup today. Craig Albernaz is asking about something here. Gunnar will step back into the box, and Rob Drake says reset the pitch timer. And now Rob Drake's going to talk to Christian Vasquez. All right, what the heck is happening now?
Yeah, pretty much a 2-pitch pitcher. Throws his, at least so far this year, has thrown his slider 2/3 of the time, and then a four-seam fastball.
Henderson checks his swing. That ball lands fair behind third. Whoopsie. The gunner's got a you-know-what-eating grin on his face. He inside out. That's not even a half swing. That might be a quarter swing, and it's a 45-mile-an-hour hit.
Yeah, well, maybe a little more than that. I mean, watch this ball spin back.
Wow.
Yeah, look at this little. Oh, there we go. Let's play some billiards.
Andre Agassi in the house. If you're a lefty and you give up that kind of a hit to a lefty.
Well, the only good news for Okert is that he didn't advance a runner. You know, double play still in order. You don't have first and third with only one out. Now you do have Taylor Ward, who's been red hot coming up.
It's basically a two-pitch walk. Ward will try to give the Orioles at least a second run today. Try to reach base for a 12th straight game. Struck out looking, grounded out.
Yeah, Okert, you know, doesn't have a screwball. I mean, he's just slider fastball. Bassett still pacing. Certainly working the way he's pitching. Certainly would like a lot more runs.
Okert with his slider dipping inside to Taylor Ward. It's 3-0 with Adley Rutschman on deck. Not a batter who's likely to swing on 3-0. And he will take a strike with a slider. A 3-0 backdoor slider. Tries to backdoor it again. Oh, wow.
Catcher's challenging the pitch.
Christian Vasquez, I think, only challenged because Taylor Ward hesitated. ABS powered by T-Mobile. It's high. Oh, he rope-a-doped him. Vasquez figuring, well, if Taylor Ward thinks it's a strike, it must be a strike. And the Astros are down to one challenge.
Yeah, anytime you bring your glove down, it is borderline up. Josh Miller's going to come out, their pitching coach. Been around for a long time. Bullpen, now regular pitching coach for what, about 8 years.
Ward's now walked in 8 consecutive games. The Astros have the bullpen up again. That would be some real 4D chess if Taylor Ward tried to bait him into the challenge. I think that's unlikely, but you never know with Taylor Ward. Well, Adley Rutschman did put the first pitch in play in the 4th inning. It's his highest career first pitch swing rate, so he's been a little bit more of an ambush hitter than before. Lowest swing and miss rate of his career, and mostly for the left side, pulling the ball in the air very well. He's got the bases loaded and 1 out. And he'll take the first pitch here. It's a strike with a slider right in there.
Yeah, left-handed against lefties. He's what, 5 for 21. Well, that's 238, over 400 against the righties.
That slider just buried him. This is the 3rd batter Okert's facing, and AJ Bluebaugh may be getting ready for the next one. Pete Alonso. Bases full of birds. Alexander, Henderson, and Ward. Pretty good speed. Adley will take another slider low.
Yeah, this is about the most conventional infield you're ever going to see, at least their defensive positioning. I mean, this is old school. They're playing them just the way they used to play, you know, not overplaying them any particular way. And of course, they're hoping for a double play ball, and the Orioles are hoping for something a little bit better than that.
And you've got Correa and Altuve, who've played enough middle infield together, they could probably turn double plays in their sleep. 2-2 for Adley here. 1-0 the Oriole lead in the 5th. 10 for 26 career with the bases loaded as a right-handed batter. It's an even 400, and that number might go up. Deep left center field. Matthews charging back, makes the catch, and crashes into the fence. But did he have the ball? No, he lost it on the way down. It's a grand slam for Adley Rutschman. Matthews couldn't squeeze it. Adley hits a grand slam, and we need to get you a chicken wing.
I thought there were only 3 guys on, or 2 guys on.
No. Jim Palmer said last year if the Orioles hit a grand slam with him on the air, he would eat a chicken wing. And one of the weirdest grand slams you'll ever see means it's wing time.
Well, what do birds do? They wing their way to 5-0 lead. That's what they do. Jeez, I'm so disappointed in Bryce Matthews. I mean, look at this effort.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, great effort. But not great enough, Bryce. How disappointing.
I don't know if we can get one up here in time, but we got a long day ahead of us.
Day, we got all day to.
Pete, this should be a little bit easier for Matthews. I've seen it before. You've seen it before, but not often. It's very rare for a ball to go out of a glove and over the wall. And Adley continues his torrid stretch.
But look how far he's got to go. I mean, he's over in right center. I mean, it doesn't get a whole lot better effort-wise. We talked about Adam Jones, who knows Bryce Matthews. He'll tell you, you run out of room here at Camden Yards very quickly.
On the infield, Correa all the way over on the first base side makes the catch. We already got loaded nachos today. We're going to have to keep the food delivery going. Bryce Matthews back to the scene of the crime. Adley with a drumstick out to left center. A slam in the in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. What a swing by Adley Rutschman. What an attempt by Bryce Matthews, but a grand slam, and it's 5-0 as the Birds have broken this game all the way open. Carlos Correa now with a bouncing ball to Blaze Alexander. Chris Bassett retires the leadoff man for the 6th straight inning.
Yeah, keeps throwing the 2 seamers, that sinker to Correa, and he can't quite get to it. Boy, 1 pitch, 1 out. Now only 68 pitches. So that's what, 16 outs on 68 pitches. Very efficient. I mean, this is the guy that came in throwing 20 pitches per inning, or a little bit over that. You know, if you're having a good one, it's going to enter between 15 and 16. Do the math, 16 pitches an inning, 6 innings, 96. Most guys seem to be fatigued after 95 or 96 pitches.
I mean, first 5 starts, averaging a little over 4 innings per start, and just 10 strikeouts in 5 starts. Much sharper today, and he's ahead of Alvarez 0-2. Alvarez is 0-4-2.
And now a 5-run cushion. So for a veteran pitcher, it doesn't mean you're going to really change your game plan. I mean, you actually probably come a little more relaxed.
Alvarez strikes out again. I mean, we have seen some crazy things today. Yordan Alvarez had not struck out in 35 plate appearances, and Chris Bassett has owned him.
Is that like a sweeper more than a curveball? Yeah, I think it was. Well, it says curveball, but his curveball's usually a little bit more overhand. Either way, it gets the job done.
Knowing Chris, maybe it's a combination of both, how many different pitch types he has. But 6 strikeouts for Bassett. He has doubled his previous season high. And fresh as a daisy, 72 pitches in, nearly out of the 6th. Isaac Paredes will take one tight. You figure the Astros now, unless they get a bunch of runs this inning, will probably go to some of their, you'd say, lower leverage relievers, knowing there's another game to come today. And for the Orioles, it's can you hold the lead and how many outs can Chris Bassitt cover? Because game 2 is important. What's also important is the Orioles start a 4-game series with the Yankees tomorrow, and the Yankees are off today. So the Yankees will have the more rested team and the more rested bullpen. So the more outs Chris can get, the better off you are today and then the next 4 days against the division leader.
And he knows that. And again, the 5-run cushion allows Greg Alvarez, the Orioles skipper, to be a little bit more patient.
Here's a 2-2. Breaking ball down the left field line and foul.
Well, I mean, it's a classic case of the obvious that if you're going to win a doubleheader, you've got to win the first game. But tired or not, if the Orioles win 2 today, they will feel pretty good going to New York.
Get to 16 and 15 if they can win both today. And then 4 with the Yankees, who are leading the American League East right now. Another 2-2. Ground ball toward the middle. Blaze has to go a long way, and he cannot get there. Obviously, with Paredes and his dramatic pole splits, Blaze was dramatically pulled toward third, so the inning stays alive. You can stream Bassitt Plus on iOS and Android mobile devices, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, and Roku. Don't miss a pitch. Bassitt Plus subscriptions are available for only $19.99 a month. Go to BassittSports.com or scan the QR code today. Astros' 4th hit. They're all singles. Christian Walker, another sweepy curveball.
Yeah, a couple of hits the other night. I mean, they got him to hit home runs. He did hit. Slow start last year. Better start this year. Ended up with 27 home runs. He's going to take some time to reassess that swing.
Right-handers coming into the game 1 for 16 against the curveball and the sweeper of Chris Bassitt. And he's throwing one of each to Walker here to jump ahead 0-2. Ground outs to second, 4-1, and then a fielder's choice to second, 4-6. And then a two-seamer 94 from Chris Bassitt.
A little extra, but pulled it outside. Yeah, you look at all the hitters counts. 1-0, they were 424. 1-1, they were 475. With 2 strikes, they were 290. The league average is usually about 169. So he has changed the script today.
Snatched out of play by Walker. A strikeout to walk ratio of 13-10 coming in. More walks than Ks today. 1 walk, 6 Ks. Not a lot of deep counts. Trying to get through 6 innings for the first time in an Oriole jersey. 5 2/3 is a new season high. And he misses with a breaking ball inside. It's 2-2.
Yeah, he does have the pitch come on his right hip, I believe. And it turns the glove and decide what he wants to throw.
6 pitch to Walker. And he gets him. 7 Ks for Chris Bassitt in 6 sparkling innings. Memberships. 5-0 Oriole lead. Bottom of the 6th. AJ Blubaugh out of the Astro bullpen.
Yeah, so you can see the numbers are not particularly good. So we'll see how the Orioles handle maybe adding some more offense. Jackson, who drove in the first run, hanging slider down into the corner with Alonso scoring all the way from first.
1 run in the 4th on that Jackson double, and 4 in the 5th on the Adley Rutschman grand slam. So Peter Lambert 4 1/3 through 91 pitches, 2 hits, 2 earned, walked 3, struck out 3, and then Stephen Okert gave up an accidental swing infield hit to Gunnar Henderson, walked Taylor Ward, and gave up the grand slam to Adley. So Okert 2/3 of an inning, 2 hits, 3 earned runs, and a walk. This Astro bullpen has been just grisly this year as Blue Ball gets a foul out. 6.27 is the Houston bullpen ERA coming into the game. The next worst, the Angels at 5.43. So it's Houston, then it's a mile until you get to 29.
And the Angels had a horrible week with their bullpen. Mike Maddox, who's been around forever, says, yeah, give him time. Well, you don't have a choice. If you're Kurt Suzuki and not winning the games that they're supposed to win out there.
Well, Kurt Suzuki probably has less time than any new manager. He signed a 1-year deal. Linked up with the GM Perry Manassian over there in Anaheim, and unsurprisingly, the Angels and the Astros, unsurprisingly, when you look at their bullpen ERAs and their pitching numbers, are tied for last in the American League. Strike. Oh, change up missed inside. Beg your pardon. Colton Cowser. Colton is lined out softly to third. Struck out swinging. First start in 8 days. And when Craig Albertez was asked about that on Tuesday, he said Colton's putting the work. It's less about him and more about wanting to play Leody Taveras and Dylan Beavers more. Leody hitting .286 and .820 OPS. Beavers starting to put together better at-bats. Cowser with a ground ball to Walker, Gold Glove first baseman, over to Blue Ball. 3-time Gold Glover at that. Christian Walker makes it look very easy.
You know, we talked about it. I mean, originally started in the Oriole organization, waiver claim, and ended up with Arizona, who's a terrific player.
Kobe Mayo has flight out to both corner outfielders. Two out, nobody on, 5-0 Orioles. Again, this is game 1 of a doubleheader. Game 2 will begin approximately 30 minutes after the conclusion of game 1. That pitching matchup, Brandon Young facing the Astros for a 3rd time in 5 big league starts, and Lance McCullers Jr.
Who struggled since, he's coming to all kinds of injuries and pitched well. I mean, really good at his first start, and then it's been a struggle with his command.
And of course, with Brendan Young going in game 2, we'll get to revisit the highlight of his big league life when he went 7 2/3 perfect innings in Houston last year against his boyhood team. Kobe chases a sweeper down and out
until that villain Ramon Urias got a base hit, what, in the 8th inning?
Brandon has had a couple of good starts to the year. Got to be about a half hour in between games before the Astros head to Boston, the Orioles head to New York. 2-2 for Kobe. Extra base hit 4 straight before an 0 for 3 on Tuesday. 2 strikeouts and a lineout. And again, you look at where he's getting pitched this year. It's breaking ball down and away, breaking ball down and away all over again.
Well, kind of a pull hitter, so that's what you're going to do. You're going to force him to cover the outside corner. Right at the moment, it's been a struggle.
5-0 O's into the 7th.
Third of the day to take a look at the brunch menu.
Probably a good day to be in the Tros Club. 18 innings of food, drink, views. Chris Bass has looked pretty good for 6 of those 18 innings.
Has he ever? Well, 18 outs, and
that ball gobbled up at third by Mayo.
Make it 19.
Indeed. Jose Altuve retired. Mayo just struck out, but on the next pitch of the game, he makes a sparkling defensive play.
Well, that's what the good ones do, and the youngsters, you hope that they'll forget this blown away swing at a slider. Right here, a little short hop, playing in to take the bunt away in case he thought about bunting, and makes a nice play.
6 1/3 innings for Chris Bassitt. Another first pitch strike is into Yainer Diaz. Chris has gotten ahead time and time again today.
The Oriole bullpen is up.
A little flare out to left. 3 pitches and 2 outs in the 7th.
It's pretty nice, isn't it?
Rico Garcia getting loose. And hopefully his services won't need to be called upon here. The Orioles' longest start of the season was Trevor Rogers on opening day. He went 7. Rogers, by the way, placed on the injured list yesterday with an illness. We found out today is a nasty case of the flu, apparently. And so Cameron Foster was recalled. So Rogers will not be starting in New York. Orioles will have to make another move, possibly to get Cade Povich on the roster. We'll see this weekend. When Foster is here, Jose Espada here is the 27th man. Rogers did not pitch well the last 3 games, but found out there's a flu bug that's been going through the Oriole clubhouse. Hit Weston Wilson a couple of days ago. So Trevor's been away from the team for several days now. Hope he'll be feeling better and on the mend soon. Bryce Matthews lays down a bunt. Bassett's off the mound, and he could not clutch it.
I'll tell you what, it's almost like he knew it was going to happen. I mean, he pounced on it, but just couldn't get a handle on it. So, smart play by Matthews. I mean, homered, got 2 other hits, almost robbed him a grand slam. So maybe, this kid can really run.
It's a bunt single for Matthews. 5 hits, all singles for the Astros today. Bassitt on the verge of completing 7. Face Harris for a 3rd time. Dustin takes a changeup down and in. Harris singled in the 3rd and flied out in the 5th. Astros with 5 innings with 1 hit. 2 perfect innings for Bassitt, and there only 1 walk. A fly ball hit high and deep down the line, foul by Harris. It's 1-1.
Yeah, pitch count, most he's thrown. Talking about Chris Bassitt, opening game against Texas 100, and then the game in Cleveland where he pitched 5 shutout innings through 100.
Harris, short swing, flips one over into right field.
Hey, Harris looks like a pretty good young hitter, especially off speed stuff.
Especially for a player who was a waiver claim from the White Sox. So the 7 and 8 hitters are on. Once again, the bottom 1/3 of the lineup for Houston's making noise, and Bassitt will get one more crack at finishing this inning against Christian Vasquez. If Vasquez reaches, it's probably Rico Garcia time. 2 on, 2 out. Breaking ball is down and away. 3rd time through, the league had an OPS of .929 against Bassitt. The Astros are 3 for 8, but all 3 singles the 3rd time through. Here's a 1-0. On the ground up the middle, gets past Blaze into center field, and Houston gets on the board.
Yeah, and you're right, that will get him out of the game, I would imagine. Especially when you have Rico Garcia, who's only given up 1 hit all year long. And that was a home run in Kansas City to Mike Massey.
So Bassitt will be frustrated not to get through 7, but he Still ends up tying for the second longest start by any Oriole pitcher this year. He has his first quality start with the team nailed down. And an appreciative Craig Albertaz will take the ball after 94 very strong pitches. Today, Rico Garcia on to face Carlos Correa. 2 on, 2 out. 5-1 Oriole lead in the 7th, and a good start.
Great slider. I mean, again, he's given up 1 hit. It was a home run on a changeup. 0 for 13 on his fastball. 0 for 9 on his slider, which you just saw. Fastball about 90. The average fastball is a little under 96. And that will get the job done. Correa 0 for 4.
Seventh inning stretch complete here at Oriole Park. The Astros got a run but left 2 on in the top of the 7th, so the Orioles maintain a 4-run lead on this gorgeous final day of April. Houston added Jason Alexander to the roster as the 27th man for this doubleheader, and he takes over to face Blaze Alexander, a relation that we're aware of.
Yeah, last year actually pitched pretty well, and 1 pitch, 1 out. So at a major league level this year, as you mentioned, added as the 27th guy. So what did he do down at Sugarland? He was 0-2 with a 4.97 ERA. I mean, he's known for his changeup.
It was a waiver claim last May, and he came in the rotation and he pitched brilliantly. It was 6 shutout innings against the Yankees. And again, it was replete with Seinfeld references in the Bronx. He had a really good year, and sort of surprising with all of the pitching injuries for the Astros, he has not been with the team until now. There are the numbers last season with the A's and Astros. And there's that changeup.
Yep. And there's a pop-up. Well, he's been around. I mean, he signed originally as a non-drafted free agent way all the way back in 2017. It's in the big leagues briefly for the Brewers in 2022. Athletics, as you mentioned, last year. Now with a team that needs pitching.
Ball 1 to Taylor Ward. A.J. Blueball with a scoreless inning featuring a strikeout. 13 pitches, 8 strikes. Anthony Nunez up in the Oriole bullpen. I wonder if Rico Garcia would be willing and able to pitch the second game after throwing just 2 pitches in game 1.
I think he would.
Willing, probably, knowing Rico. The question is, will the Orioles do it if they need to? Time called there was a piece of trash or a bag that just dropped out of the sky right behind Jason.
Hot dog wrapper.
Could be. Yeah, something from the concession stands.
Now blowing out to left center.
3-1 to Ward. Adley Rutschman looming. And Taylor takes a walk.
Oh, imagine that.
When have we said that before?
Jeez.
Oh, right. 1 batter ago for Ward, at least. The Orioles have 5 walks today. Ward has the last 2. He's got 24 walks in 30 games. And he has 35 hits. So here's Adley with a grand slam last time. 7-game hit streak now for Rutsch. In those 7, he is 13 for 29 with 14 RBIs and 6 extra base hits. Adley right side. There's another hit. Extending the hit streak with a grand slam just wasn't enough. He now has hits from both sides of the plate.
Well, he's back to being Adley. I mean, this is the guy that the Orioles saw coming up at 22. And I don't know, wins year in 2024, the second half. Last year hurt. But this is vintage. You got a guy on first base. You got a hole over there. Look for a pitch you can pull into right field, and that's exactly what he does.
Craig Albertaz a couple of days ago, Jim, on MLB Network Radio, asked about Adley. He said, look, he was a shell of himself last year due to injuries, but Craig has been blown away by the work ethic, the prep he puts in defensively, and then postgame talked about his adjustability as a hitter.
Well, that's why he was the number 1 in 2018. I mean, #1 draft choice in the MLB draft.
2-0 for Pete Alonso now. That's way inside. The Orioles trying to construct a rally here. Get a few more runs. You might be able to rest your leverage relievers until game 2. 3-0 for Pete. He takes ball 4. That loads the bases. A rally constructed from 2-out whole cloth. And here is Josh Miller as the Orioles load the bases for the second time in 3 innings.
So what happens if we get 2 grand slams? So I have to eat chicken wings both games?
I think you may have to track down a chicken with your bare hands and put it in the fryer at that point. That would be amazing if the Orioles hit 2 grand slams in 1 game to break your chicken wing seal.
Or even if they did it in a doubleheader. That would work. Same day. I put it in the air fryer.
You may have to wear the San Diego chicken suit if Beavers hits one out.
That's a good point.
Well, he's walked already in the game, and 2 of the last 3 Orioles have walked. So maybe he'll just walk and give Jeremiah Jackson a chance. He's ahead 2-0.
Well, he ought to get a grand slam pitch right here to hit. 93-mile-per-hour fastball, because you need to throw a strike. Even though change up his pitch of choice. Well, and there it was, but it's another ball.
Alexander walked toward. Rutschman singled. Alonso walked. Beavers walks. A bases loaded, base on balls. And it's 6-1.
That's almost like a grand slam of sorts.
But Jeremiah's got a grand slam this year.
Oh, no.
You're going on hot ones if he hits one out.
Who doesn't?
Time. You got a violation.
Jeremiah just got dinged with a pitch timer violation. Rob Drake's microphone was on, so he was not alert to the pitcher by 8 seconds. So it's an automatic strike to start him down 0-1. Fly ball into left field.
Get out.
Alvarez at the wall. Time to face the wings of death. 2 grand slams in 1 game. Jeremiah Jackson's second slam of the month of April. And it's a laugher. All with 2 outs and nobody on. Automatic strike one. Who cares? A 5-run explosion in the Orioles 7th.
Can I answer you a question? The grand
Yes.
slams, do they count when the wind's blowing to left field? that's what I want. It's like being in Sarasota.
Oh, man. Gotta read the fine print next time. Back to the mound from Cowser. Alexander gets 3 outs. Took a long time in between the second and third. That looks familiar. A couple of weeks ago against Arizona, Jackson slammed to the splash zone again.
Don't recall that.
Well, that was then. And this is now. The Orioles have had 2 grand slams in 3 innings. Anthony Nunez, who was warming up, is going to come in up 10-1. Look at this. The people know that it is chicken wing time. James Alvin Palmer, you've been with us for a long time. We've been lucky to have 8 decades of Jim Palmer, but we have never had a chicken wing. And so, would anything you'd like to say? Any last words here? Rob's with us too.
That Bryce Matthews should have caught that ball, and I cannot believe Jason Alexander. Why did you hang a slider? But here we go. It's a lot of skin. That's all I can tell you. So, and they're greasy, by the way. Can't eat them with a microphone.
This is television gold. I'm so happy to be a part of this. Listen, Jim Palmer tried to work his little Jim Palmer magic. I went all around the stadium to try to find wings, and all the wing spots were closed. But fortunately, our PR staff was on.
That would have been my day.
Jim would have the power to call all of the concession stands. But thankfully, our PR staff scrounged some up. So you having your first
Actually,
wings?
these are pretty good.
Look at that.
What I've missed all these years.
I do like green eggs and ham. Thank you, Sam. I am. In the right, Paredes with a base hit. You could have had maybe not 80 years of this, like 76 years of chicken wings.
Well, you can't eat it when you're 3.
Maybe you could. Oh, look at the scoreboard. Welcome to Wingstop. Yes.
Kevin, I think we just ruined Jim Palmer.
No. I mean, no, these are actually pretty tasty. Where'd you get them?
These are from the folks here at Levy, from our concessionaire here.
Well, everything's brick and whistle, right?
Yes.
That's the food.
This is just the start of your journey. We're gonna go all around Baltimore right now, all around the city, all around the county. We're gonna get different wings. Where should we take them? Where do you think?
Home. You should take me to the home. Where you should take me.
Wings here are great. They're also, well, he's never been to like B-Dubs, anything like that. Watch a ball game on an off day, eat some wings.
All the things we can do when it's 10-1.
That's right.
In the 8th. With the.
Next time you're at Merritt, you get your workout in, then you'll come down to Canton with me. We'll go get some wings in the neighborhood.
No, what was that other place?
We'll go to Happy Jack.
Happy Jack.
We'll go to the dive.
They have wings there, or am I getting?
We'll go to Kissling's. We'll go wherever you want. Wherever you want. It's a whole new wing world.
But he's still working on the same wing.
Well, I told you, 1. That's what it said last April.
Yeah, all right.
I will eat.
You did say you will eat a chicken wing. You didn't say what happened if they had 2 in the same game. Whoa. That throw gets away from Pete by Kobe Mayo. Altuve is aboard at first. Does that mean that these other wings are up for grabs?
Yes, they are. No, this is a team. This is a team effort here.
All right. I'm going to join you.
Community wings?
Yeah.
Community wings.
Come on, Rob. What are you doing today? Other got hit by a throw by the left.
What kind of wings are these?
You didn't have to put it that way. I got hit by the throw by the left fielder.
Yeah, about 270-foot throw from left field that got you, winged you, by the way.
A little peppery.
It was in between hops.
Right center field, got a Diaz.
Not good. We're going to have to give up chicken wings right here.
It's 10-2 still. You got some margin for error. Now you got to decide whether you like drums or flats. That's the next question.
What are flats?
What you're eating right now?
Oh, I like
got
flats.
a drumstick. Okay.
Yeah, I definitely-
You've never had a drumstick.
But well, that's why I like it. I mean, I just don't understand. This takes work to do. You know, chicken breast.
It's like crabs. It's what you.
I don't
when
eat
you're with
crab. I'm
other people.
allergic to crabs.
But people don't eat crabs to get full. They eat it because it's like, you know, social food.
You got to understand. I could break out in hives because these are related. These are related to grand slams. and I never threw one.
I knew where you were going.
For 3,948 innings or whatever it was.
I tell you what, Grant Slams and you, they don't pair together well.
No, they don't. I'm blaming Jackson and Rutschman today. I'm telling you. I thought more highly than them.
Would you have ever eaten a chicken wing if you had allowed a grand slam?
No.
Too short. Alexander, that skips off of him. This could be the second error of the inning, and it's 10-3.
Well, we talked about the Astros. They do have a good offense. You would not know Bassett was that good today. Drew French, it looks like, is going to come out, Oriole pitching coach. A little top spin. I think he planned on catching it. Yeah, now you almost like.
He came up hobbling after that on a little maybe ankle turn. Remember, Blaze was playing short because Gunnar Henderson's DHing in the opener, this doubleheader. So,
see what happens. This is good. Grand slams are good for the offense, but wings are not good for the defense. That's the moral of this story here in the 8th inning.
So you wouldn't have, you wouldn't go on. Do you even know what Hot Ones is?
No.
Hot Ones is this wonderful YouTube show. Sean Evans is the host, incredible interview researcher, and he interviews guests while they eat 10 wings, each one with a progressively hotter and hotter sauce.
Oh, really? No.
And the eighth sauce is called Da Bomb Beyond Insanity. So you wouldn't have Da Bomb Beyond Insanity after this.
No, I wouldn't.
But you did have a chicken wing.
Thank you,
Still
boys.
working on it. What a day. Honored to be a part of it. Send these wing bones off to the Hall of Fame. Way down. It's a grand slam for Adley Rutschman. And we need to get you a chicken wing. Had you forgotten? Or were you hoping I didn't remember? That's the real question.
Yeah, you're too young not to remember.
Look at the scorebook.
Unfortunately.
Deep left field. Here's a drive from Kobe Mayo, and Alvarez will be replaced by Daniel Johnson. Daniel Johnson makes the catch in left field. No grand slams allowed, and one chicken wing eaten because of a grand slam.
Yeah, chicken wing on my microphone for the second game of the doubleheader.
We'll need a new headset for game 2, which is going to start about 30 minutes after this one. And the Orioles well in control. Jeremiah Jackson followed up with a second grand slam. So the Orioles with a 4-run 5th and a 5-run 7th. And Blaze Alexander, part of that 5th inning with a double. He's also walked. He snapped an 0 for 14. And Blaze takes high from Jason Alexander. So a bit of a sloppy top of the 8th inning. The Orioles commit 2 errors. Anthony Nunez allows 2 unearned runs, but they are in good shape, very good shape going into the 9th before game 2. As Blaze is retired by Correa. And why are these games so important? Why is it so important that the bullpen gets a little bit of an easier game 1? Because the Orioles go to the Yankees for 4. Upcoming schedule brought to you by Science & Kirk. Injured in an accident? Call Science & Kirk or visit youhavealawyer.com. Remember, you have a lawyer. Orioles starters TBA for the series in the Bronx, in part because Trevor Rogers went on the IL yesterday. He's dealing with the flu. That is Jose Espada up in the 9th inning. He'll be the Oriole pitcher. For the Yankees, it'll be Will Warren, 3-0 with a 259. Ryan Weathers, who's got a 3.21 ERA, Max Fried, who's 4-1 with a 2.09, and Cam Schlittler, who's 4-1 with a 1.51. The Yankees, they can pitch, and they're going to throw some horses at the Orioles this weekend. Orioles trying to get there at 16-15. They get to 500 with a win here. Alvarez and Paredes are out of the game as Henderson swings and misses, and Jason Alexander is out of the inning. Orioles 3 outs away. Extra pregame presented by Bet365. About a half hour after game 1 ends, Rob Long will be with you as Brandon Young and Lance McCullers Jr. get set to match up. The O's will be going for a doubleheader sweep unless something absolutely nutty happens in the 9th inning. 2 grand slams today. Adley Rutschman and Jeremiah Jackson, 10 runs and just 6 hits. The Orioles have taken their walks, 7 of them. And it's the season debut in the big leagues for Jose Espada.
Yeah, out of Houston, as a matter of fact. Did pitch 3 innings last year for the Orioles. Gave up a run. It's for San Diego. Signed all the way back as an international free agent back in 2015. So the 29-year-old right-hander. Back up curveball. Catches the inside corner. And he's the nephew of Joe Espada, who manages Houston.
We found out the second cousin on his father's side of the Astros manager, Joe Espada. Found that out today from Robert Ford, the terrific voice of the Astros on radio.
Out of Ponce, Puerto Rico.
And they have met as well, Jose and Joe, not just today. Second cousins, one managing and one pitching in the same game in the big leagues. Thanks to Robert for sharing that with us. Vasquez strokes a ground ball to the shortstop hole.
Boy, he's got the magic wand going this year. Drove in the first run with a base hit, ground ball up the middle, and got a little slider, hit it with one hand, finds a hole. Well, you got to get 3 outs. Can't win till you get all 27 outs and you have a lead.
Correa with 3 outs on the ground today, plus a strikeout. This game was scoreless into the bottom of the 4th. The Orioles did not have a hit until the bottom of the 4th when, with 2 outs, Jeremiah Jackson doubled in Pete Alonso. And then in the 5th inning, Blaze Alexander doubled, Gunnar Henderson singled, Taylor Ward walked, and Adley Rutschman hit a grand slam. And here we are to the Jeremiah Jackson grand slam and a Dylan Beavers bases loaded walk that preceded that. So Jeremiah has driven in 5. He now leads the team heading into the month of May. He's got 24 RBIs, Jim, in 28 games.
Yeah, well, he has gotten an opportunity to play and seized it.
Correa golfs one to left field for a base hit. First of the game for Correa. The Astros now have 8 hits in the last 3 innings. By the way, the Bryce Matthews ground ball that ate up Blaze Alexander was ruled an error. That's been changed to an infield hit. So that will make one of the runs against. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Both those runs remain unearned against Anthony Nunez. That was with 2 outs. But Matthews does get an RBI.
You got Daniel Johnson pinch hitting.
Briefly an Oriole a year ago. Daniel Johnson was probably most notably an Oriole in the Brandon Young game in Houston, because Daniel was only 5 for 24. He only played 17 games with the O's last year, but he was in center field and he collided on the out right before the Ramon Urias infield single with Jeremiah Jackson tracking down a ball in right center, made the catch, and we thought maybe this is going to be the play we'll all remember from the Brandon Young outing, and it was not to be. Johnson just recently signed as a minor league free agent. Came in for Alvarez defensively and takes high here for ball 2. Wow.
Yeah.
Johnson
Definitely chased the ball.
a little bit of sorts on that one.
Well, it had a lot of movement, and you know his slider's pretty flat, where it kind of just settles. But yeah, looks like he's got a pretty good fastball, 94, 95. There it is again, but misses away.
Spada up from Double-A Chesapeake today, struggling in the minor leagues this year. And Johnson, it's a ground ball picked by Jeremiah at second. He's more than just a bat.
Wow. Already made a great play and got the lead runner earlier in the game, and so he hits the drives 4 with 1 hit. Also drives in the first run with a double, and then turns a double play. You're looking for outs. There's 2 of them.
One to get for Jose Espada in his second Orioles appearance. And Shea Whitcomb muscles the ball in the air to right field. Colt Kauser over from center makes the catch, and the Orioles win 10-3. They hit 2 grand slams, and they take game 1 of a doubleheader, improving to 500 with a chance to enter May, Jim, with a winning record.
Well, starters for the Orioles are dropping like flies. And to me, yeah, obviously you scored 10 runs, hit a couple of grand slams. Offense was terrific, but Chris Bassett finally pitches like I think everybody kind of expected. So congratulations to him. Won 2 in a row. The last one was a little bit iffy in Kansas City, but he does win it today. He was marvelous. A lot of first pitch strikes, threw all his pitches, and gave the Orioles a chance to win, and then he put 10 runs on the board.
Great all-around day for the Orioles. 2 grand slams, great start for Bassett, and of course another game to come. They get 10 runs on just 6 hits with 7 walks. We'll hear from Rob Long shortly. O's Extra in between games. Game 2 will start around 3:40 as the O's will look for a sweep.